Raido Matsuboshi is a new high school student. He is determined to make friends and hopes his high school experience will be different from middle school, where he was ignored due to his unfriendly appearance. After Raido introduces himself to the class, he greets his new seatmate Aharen after he spies her name on her book bag, but she seemingly ignores him. He doesn't give up, practices his smile, and continues to talk about clubs and hobbies, but she never responds. At the end of the day, he feels like he heard her say something, but leaves as he believes he imagined her speaking. The next day, Aharen drops her eraser and Raido gives it to her. After class, Aharen gets close to Raido and he realizes that she is trying to say something. She whispers to him that she forgot her book and they share his. They eat lunch together and Aharen has packed 2 lunch portions. She tries to feed Raido, but he declines, and she finishes the rest of the food. Raido suddenly finds himself walking home with her, and she takes him to an arcade and karaoke. At karaoke, Aharen sings so quietly that Raido cannot hear anything at all. Aharen seems to ignore Raido the next day, but Raido is undeterred and asks her if she would like to share his book again. Aharen is uncertain, and she reveals that when people act nice to her, she often acts too clingy and drives people away. Raido tells her not to worry about it, as long as Aharen doesn't overdo it, and she hugs him. It's difficult for Raido to hear Aharen, so he starts to study lip reading and practices with his sister, who makes fun of him. He tests his new skill on Aharen, but discovers that she moves her lips very little. They try to pass notes instead, but find them inefficient. They next try to use their heads to conduct noise, but Raido just gets injured from Aharen headbutting him. Raido has more ideas from telepathy, Morse code, and smoke signals. Eventually, Raido gives up on the ideas, but discovers that his hearing has gotten better, struggling to listen to Aharen. The next day, they play a crane game, and Raido struggles to win a toy that Aharen wants. After Raido is out of money, she shows off her skills and wins the prize on the first try. He watches as she continues to win the toys from the same machine. As they leave, she gives them to Raido, as she thought he wanted the prize. He goes to sleep with the prizes. At lunch, Aharen gives Raido her extra lunch, and in class, she is extremely tired from staying up late. He discovers her ability to sleep with her eyes open in class. She gives Raido another lunch, which she woke up early to make. In return, Raido lets Aharen rest. One day, Aharen has a messy appearance, and Raido is worried that she got in a fight. She reveals that something was in her eye that morning, giving her trouble determining distance. Raido gives her eye drops, but she has trouble with the bottle. When Raido attempts to help her, she keeps dodging him. They clear her eyes, but are embarrassed with their position. At lunch, Raido also gets something in his eye, and Aharen helps him, but does poorly. Suddenly, Raido gets the feeling they are being watched. Throughout the day, he gets the same feeling. He thinks of all the bad things he could have done for someone to take revenge. He discovers his stalker to be Mitsuki Oshiro, Aharen's childhood friend who has been watching and protecting Aharen. However, since Raido is so scary, Mitsuki has stayed away. She announces that he is so scary, she will continue to watch from afar. Later, Aharen is sick and wears a mask. She discovers Raido's fly is open, but the mask prevents Raido from hearing her speak. He also cannot understand her acting. To protect Raido from embarrassment, Aharen volunteers to take his question and covers for him in art class. However, throughout the day he continues to have his fly open, and she must continue to cover for him. When they walk home, he realizes that she is trying to get his attention and compliments her haircut. At home, his sister points out his open fly. One day, when Raido is absent, Mitsuki sees Aharen waiting in her class after school has ended. It is raining, so Mitsuki throws her an umbrella, but Aharen gives it to the teacher thinking it is lost. Mitsuki sneaks the umbrella onto Aharen's desk, but Aharen believes the umbrella is a ghost. Aharen chases after Mitsuki, who runs and is cornered, and Aharen offers her an umbrella. They walk home together, but Aharen gets wet from the rain. Mitsuki offers her a spare sweater, and Aharen thanks her for the sweater and for watching over her. One day, Aharen arrives with strange hair, and Raido wonders if she perhaps has an interest in death metal. She explains that she has bedhead and her attempt to fix it went wrong. They try to fix her hair but fail. Raido asks Mitsuki for help, and though she is scared, she agrees to help as her family runs a hair salon. Raido becomes nervous of Mitsuki's hairdressing, but the haircut turns out good. Mitsuki also gives Raido a good haircut, but she reveals she also thought about making Raido bald. To thank Mitsuki, they have lunch with her. Aharen shares her lunch but must feed Mitsuki from afar. Raido helps Aharen with lip balm, but Mitsuki is much better at it and continues to help her. In class, Aharen has trouble seeing the board as the student in front of her is too tall. Raido tries to help her in various ways, but they end up with Aharen copying notes from Raido. At gym class, they are in a co-ed baseball match together. Raido misreads Aharen's competitive stances and he fails to throw a valid pitch, resulting in Aharen scoring. They have cooking class next, and usually Aharen is a star cook, but she is too tired from gym class. Raido is determined, but he makes terrible food. Reinvigorated after eating his terrible cooking, Aharen saves the class assignment. At lunch, Aharen is excited to share her food with Raido. During lunch, Raido records a video for Aharen, and he wonders if Aharen is trying to become a YouTuber. He is determined to help her and joins her in the video. He hopes they will become famous YouTubers. He finds out later the dance was just for a class, and when they upload the video, it gets 0 views. To her class, their teacher Tobaru is considered reserved and mysterious. She sees Raido and Aharen sharing a book and is overwhelmed by the romantic gravitas, as she is secretly a hopeless romantic. When Raido helps Aharen see the board, Tobaru is overwhelmed and can barely teach. Soon it becomes too much and she collapses. At lunch, Aharen acts strangely and Raido is afraid she has become possessed, but she only choked on food. To further help their communication, Raido decides to train Aharen in making expressions. They first try to make Aharen smile. Then, they try to make Aharen express various emotions, like crying, laughter, and fright. They succeed when she makes a funny face. At a music store, Aharen becomes interested in rap. She is so inspired, the next morning she raps to Raido. He decides to respond in rap as a way to communicate her, but he is terrible, so he practices with his family. The next day, he discovers that they can communicate easily by rapping. However, at lunch, they unintentionally get into a rap battle. They then lose the mics to a teacher, and find without the microphones, they are both terrible. Later, Raido's sister gives him a fidget spinner, and Aharen quickly becomes obsessed with it. Aharen quickly becomes very skilled at the fidget spinner. However, Aharen's fidget spinner obsession becomes unhealthy, and Raido begins to worry for her health before she decides to give it up. The next day after class, they meet some kids at the park that call Aharen a king due to her fidget spinner skills. A childhood friend of one of the kids challenges Aharen to reversi because she believes Aharen is corrupting the kids. Raido steps in for Aharen but is quickly destroyed. Aharen also arrives but loses on purpose to get the kids to go away. As they watch the kids, Aharen reveals she is extremely exhausted after dealing with the kids. And this is all for this video. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.